an alien. That's not an alien. That's not an alien. That's not an alien. So, what am I going to do once I get this elusive publishing contract for That's Not an Alien? Back when I had Shut Up Part 1, that was published and available from all good bookshops, or all online stores at least, from what I could see. I was at uni, and one year, the final year, they said, do some sort of project. They were a bit vague, so I thought, right, well, I'm going to create a website for myself. So I decided I would have a website for all my Scutty Ark productions. When my dad was a kid, he was building a model of the ship, the Cutty Sark. And his brother cheekily said, why don't you call it the Scutty Ark? Little play on words there. And that was just a sort of standing joke in the family for decades and decades and decades. And then one day I thought to myself, well, I need to have some sort of business so I can produce and promote all my books and films and documentaries and music and merchandise and whatever else. I thought, I'll use that name, Scutty Ark Productions. As it says in one of my books, if it's good enough for Septimus Von Toilet, it's good enough for me. So I stuck my name in there. In the future, somebody mentions the name Scut, they'll think, I know what that's all about. That's that guy with his funny writing and that strange science fiction and that funny bald narrator guy and all of that. Anyway, I'm creating a website for Scutty Ark Productions. Now, I didn't actually make the website. I have made websites in the past. I briefly made one at college about 10, 15 years earlier, and that was for my music, because at the time I wanted to be a rock star. So it was mostly promoting the CD I had made, Bend in the Sky. I had a CD and a music video, and I tried to create a whole website around that. So now here I was creating the website, and I thought, well, maybe one day I'll go into a software like Dreamweaver, put in all the elements, and then link them all together. That's not really that hard. So the idea is everything's there, and here's something, you click on this button and it takes you here. And when you click on the button, it either lights up or it changes color or something. So I went through this whole process of creating a website for mostly Shut Up Part 1 and the Bend in the Sky CD. I could have also mentioned the Brazen Vessel CD, which I also was on. None of those are really commercially available, so it wasn't a case of go to all good bookshops or go to all CD shops, work out what this website is going to look like. So I had various pages, and being me, I didn't just have ordinary sayings. So the bookshop, on tour, stuff like that. So I had words like the Bookatarium and the Scriptorium and the Talkative or whatever. Silly names I had for each page. And then you go to a page and it's like, here's a list of all my books. And there were a lot of them. So there I am putting them all in, even though the website's going to start off with just one. When the book gets published, then there'll be a good reason to go to the website to learn about the book and then get a copy of it, etc. Again, it's the same with these videos. Here I am talking about this book, but you can't go out and buy the thing. So you think, well, why am I even listening to this guy promoting something you can't have? It's all an exercise in planning for the future. So there would be a book, there would be all these little videos that I've made. So, click here and it'll take you to YouTube and show you the videos. When I was doing Shut Up Part 1, it was based on a sitcom, which I then decided would probably be best as an animation. And so I did these sort of little webisodes, which were very vaguely animated. The story sort of vaguely animated. Like I was going to do the whole thing in a series of about, 12 2030, what is it? I had one scene, and I think I turned it into 3 webisodes. So I didn't want to go, you know, a 20-minute animated webisode. I really don't know how long people will put up with just looking at a little webisode for. Is that the lens cap you've got on there? Yeah, but... Ah, shit, I've done it again! You stand corrected. I do indeed. Hey, cool t-shirt. Thanks. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. So then I thought, well, I'll be making these videos talking about That's Not an Alien and the characters and the writing of the book and reading excerpts from it. Rex threw diplomacy under a bus and made dark... Oh, god damn it. So you can connect to all of those via the website and merchandising, t-shirts. You can buy a t-shirt with the book cover on it. You can buy a t-shirt with a picture of Cathamus. You could buy a mouse pad for your computer. And there's a picture of Cathamus going, "Ah, there's a mouse on my face, get it off!" And you could buy a t-shirt with Cathamus going, "Ah, I'm trapped on this t-shirt, somebody call the police!" You know, it's not like Star Wars where you say, oh, here's the Star Wars, the classic Star Wars poster, or here's a nice picture of a Star Destroyer. You know, I can have pictures of spaceships from the book if I think that's the way to go. Otherwise, it'll be trying to be silly and making silly comments. So, for example, in Shut Up, a joke about off shoe, OFFSHU. Oh, for fuck's sake, hurry up. So Ralph and Bert would be standing around waiting for a train to turn up. And instead of shouting, "Oh, for fuck's sake, hurry up," they'd shout, "Off shoe, off shoe." So I thought I'd get a t-shirt and put off shoe on the t-shirt. And then people in the know would see that and go, "Ah, you're a fan of Shut Up." And people who didn't know wouldn't be offended because it didn't have the F word. I even had the idea you could go to the website and order a custom-made t-shirt. So you get a picture, because this was Shut Up, and I'd drawn all the characters for it. She's like, I want this particular scene with this bit of dialogue. All right, well, here's a drawing there, and we'll just put in the little dialogue boxes to say your favourite line, and then you can have that as a bespoke t-shirt. Just, I don't know. You've got to come up with ideas to put on your website. Otherwise, it's a sort of page, and it just says, "Buy my book." That's it, and that's all. And I even had the idea that I could be selling pages of script from a book. I'd just written the book, just got it published, and so all the pages I use for writing up things and making changes and making additions and removing stuff and all the changes, those pages, I would sell them to the public. The genuine article for charity. I'd probably take a little bit of the money for myself, being a greedy bastard, and, you know, costs and admin, as they say. And then the rest of it would go to some charity, and it's like, this month we're giving to Save the Children, and next month we're giving to Aardvarks Anonymous or whatever. Where you could either buy the pages from the website, or you buy them at some live event, or you could buy the page, and once you'd bought it, you could then upload it to the website, and I'd put the word copy across it so that you know this is not the original. You can't just download it because it's got the word copy written over it. But the people can then go to the website and they're saying, "Oh, where's that favourite joke of mine?" And then they find this page and says, "Oh, look, there's where that joke was first written in pen before it was typed up and became set in stone." If people like that sort of thing. I mean, it all started when I was in some library in London, and I saw all these people gathered around this little glass box. And when I finally got there, I saw it was the original lyrics to "It's a Hard Day's Night." It's a hard day's night, and I've been working like a gerbil, crossed out, wombat, crossed out, a dog, working like a dog. That's not true, actually. But, you know, it's basically, there's John Lennon's handwritten lyrics. So if people like that kind of thing, they can buy it. You know, I'm not going to sell them for $5,000 or something. But I'll work out the market value. And it's all for charity, isn't it? So you'll feel better when you've bought this thing. But it's an extra element that it's look in the process where you find this page. You know, I'm very big on, I buy a DVD and I watch the making of documentary and rock bands, the making of an album, and they'll explain how they took forever to work out the drum solo or the guitar riff or whatever. So here it is, somebody can look at it and say, oh, he was going to have that joke, and then he crossed it out and he had this one instead. So it's like, here's the most hilarious joke ever, and it was going to be like this. And I can see why he crossed it out, because that's not very funny at all. But this is hilarious. This is award-winning comedy here. So, all sorts of stuff like that. But we shall see. I mean, I've sort of designed the website. If I ever get the time, I've got Dreamweaver. I'll load it up in the computer, take all the individual elements from every single page, stick it in there, work out how to do all the drop-down menus, which is fiddly business. I had a terrible time making this web page at college, just trying to get the damn thing to work. Ultimately, I'll be giving it to someone that actually knows what they're doing, but at least it'll be based on what I think the thing should look like, with all the colours and all the fonts, and little pictures of like Wammy and Rala reading a book, and Cathamus doing something silly, and a little spuffy small person for explaining everything. He'll be in there too, and working it out now while I've got it in my head. I might be so busy attending award ceremonies and book signings that I just don't have time to think of these things in the future. So thank goodness I'm a nobody at the moment. I've got all this time in the world. So I'll get back to using it or wasting it. We'll see. Why not subscribe to youtube.com/ScuddyArk and live happily ever after in your dreams.